Does your customer live in Missouri? Are they looking for advice? Do they need assistance finding competent and local support services? Have they come to you for your help and you realize that they need more assistance than what you can offer and you want to help them find those services? Get instant access to programs and services in one easily searchable online system. I'm Tom Robbins, and I've been asked to introduce you to the Missouri Services Navigator. The Services Navigator is an online system which launched July of 2018 and allows state staff to easily search for programs and services across Missouri. It's been developed by the Missouri Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, WIOA, and partners in cooperation with Missouri state agencies and local workforce development boards. Our goal is to connect people to the programs and services that they need so that we can all help people better. The original design was part of the Missouri State Plan under WIOA, where each region, workforce region, had to create their own resource guide. This is an opportunity with the online resource Services Navigator to combine all those guides into one searchable engine. The Design and Delivery Subcommittee to guide together, the Department of Social Services, FSD, provided the funding. The design of the system, simple and direct. It's intended to be useful for people to find services quickly and easily, available to all partners and state staff, and also be sustainable through the administration of the system with an easily accessible suggestion system to improve the quality and accuracy of the records that are entered, as well as add new entries easily. The agencies that would be using this can use it to search services that they are aware of to try to get contact information, also learn about additional resources that might be available in the area or across the state, or add agencies or institutions that are looking to provide additional service to more customers, and then be able to be identified by partners and directed by our customers. The web address for the Missouri Services Navigator is mo.servicesnavigator, all one word, .org. That web address will direct you to a picture of the Capitol, and I've zoomed in on this screen so that you can see what was going on in the search. In the search information, there's three areas. There's the search bar, there's a county selection, and then a service selection. This should be fairly familiar to anyone who's used any kind of search engine before, such as Google or Bing, to be able to find anything. Whatever you put in the search bar, it will search for that in all the entries in the system and return them in alphabetical order by relevance. Relevance is going to be based on whether it's in the name of the description or subsequently if it's in an address or in the biography of the information that's there. If you would like to narrow the search down further, you can add additional words. It will combine all the words together to give you the search engine based on that. So any one of these results, if you click on it, it will pull up additional information on that item. It will show you a short description, any biography that was added, it'll show the address, phone number, email, website. It's also possible to have eligibility information, hours of operation, how to enroll, as well as a map. If at any time you know that an entry is in here and you're wanting to find that entry in order to get contact information, the address and phone number will immediately appear. You can put that information in and search that way. That's one way to use this system, is to put in who you want to find and try to quickly find it. I'm going to reset the search Because another way that you can use this system is if you are unfamiliar with what services are available, you can search by service and then narrow it down from there. So the services that are currently in the system are under disability, which are listed as disability employment, disability mental health services. There's education, adult, in-school youth, job training and apprenticeships, out-of-school youth, and post-secondary education. There's employment for dislocated workers who've been laid off, finding a job, getting a better job, youth, and then support services for childcare, counseling, financial services, food, health, dental, housing, legal, transportation, and utilities. Any of these services that are selected, the individual entity has determined that that is a core service that they offer. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's the only service that they offer, but it's what they consider to be a core service. So if you go into disability and let's say employment, anything that's going to come up based on that is going to be listed as they have identified themselves as being disability and employment functions. There's two tabs that will come up on every result. One is local listing. Local listing is going to tell you that it is only provided in a local mode in a confined geographic area. Under statewide listing, that's for anything that is identified by a state office. So if you don't get anything that's a local listing, then it may be listed as a statewide listing. If I click on the statewide listing, what comes up for under disability employment is rehabilitation services for the blind statewide, and then the main office for vocational rehabilitation, central office. Those two offices, if it's listed under statewide, that means that they are available for you to contact directly, and then they can redirect you to either a local office, or if there's not one that's local to you, they can provide the service directly. I'm going to click on the local listings again. And as you can see, under disability employment, local listings, there are a lot of choices. There's Hannibal, there's Warrensburg, there's Perryville, that's all across the state. And your customer is probably only located in one of those regions. So you can narrow that down a couple of ways. You could put in the city in the search area, or you could select a county to narrow it down. It's not a requirement for you to put service and county together, but you can do that. So if we had disability employment and then selected county, let's say Ray County, it will narrow down the services that are listed into something more manageable and more relevant to your customer, because it would be in the area or in the county that they're interested in. I'm going to reset the search engine again. You can also look for any services by county. If you were to select a county, if we choose Berry County, it will give you every service listed by that county with no discrimination. There are 31 local listings under Berry County, but because we didn't narrow it down to anything else but county, there's also all the statewide listings will show, which is basically all the state offices for anything that could be available to a customer of yours as far as services available. And it's another way, if you're wanting to learn more about the services available in an area, to determine by county what's available. So in this instance, and I think for my own situation, I've learned a lot about what services are available across the state by county as well as by service, and it's helped me be a much more effective referrer to be able to help people find the services that they need. So the search engine, you can search in the search bar, you can search by county, or you can search by service. Anytime you want to reset, you can click the reset button to get to start over again. It's basically that simple to try to find services for the people that you want to help. And that's really what we're trying to do. Everyone that uses this, it's not just going to be workforce people. It's not just going to be any one agency. It's going to be anyone that's state staff, social services, Department of Education. Anyone that uses this is going to be able to help people, help their customer find services that they need. It may be a food pantry. It may be a homeless shelter. Anything that we list in here is going to be available for everyone to find. So the information should be kept accurate, and the information should be as complete as we possibly can get it. So let's talk about how to do that. Making the information accurate. So if we go into any one of these listings, let's say you know that there's an adult education in Parkway, Missouri. We go into that selection, and the information that's in there is accurate, but it's not very readable. Or maybe there's a correction that needs to be made. Maybe they've moved, or maybe the phone number is different. At the bottom of every entry, there is an ability to suggest changes to the entry that you're looking at right at the moment. If you click on Suggest Changes, it will ask you who you are that's suggesting these changes. You need to put your email address in there, and then go through the entry and look for where you'd like to make the corrections. Now in this instance, I'm just going to change some formatting to say, hey, it probably would be a lot more readable if we change this here. And I'll just have to say that this is not something that they put in this way. It was an import that made it look a little off. And once you have it laid out where it's going to be a lot more easily read, up at the top, you have an opportunity to submit that. And when you submit it, an email is going to go to you because you've submitted the suggestion, and an email is going to go to the administrator of that particular entry, which is generally regional or by function, and they will be able to review your suggested change and then accept or decline those changes based on that. One thing, as a side note, we'd want to add correct information about address, correct information about phone number, what services they offer to make it as complete as possible. We do not need to add individuals' names. You wouldn't want to say, well, be sure to call Betty because she's very helpful. Betty might be very helpful, but that's not the information we'd want to include in this. It's mostly contact information for offices. So that's one of the great ways that you can keep the information accurate, is you can make a suggested change. If you search for something and you don't find it, but it's a resource that you'd like people to know about, or you'd like to be able to refer people to, you can suggest a new service. And you can suggest a new service at the bottom of every entry, as well as if you have a search that doesn't result in any outcome. You can suggest a new service. And at that point you could add additional information about this entry. You'd put in a description, usually a couple of sentences. What's the name of the organization? Fill in what's clear here. The postal code is the zip code, which is different than the address. Don't include the zip code in the address or the map won't work. Then the biography, population served, site hours, how to enroll, administration notes. You can also put in what county. If you click on the dark arrow, you can see all the counties and identify which counties they would serve, whether this is a local or statewide entry. And then basically the same service categories that we looked at earlier. Anything that's listed there they can mark, but be sure to mark if it's a core service that they offer, not just every service that they might offer. Use your best judgment in something like that. The directory image and the list and details are not necessary. You're basically just filling in that information, and then once you fill in that basic information, you'll submit it. It will then also go to an administrator for review before it's put on as an entry. So it won't be immediate, but you'll be able to suggest it and then be able to look for it later. So if you have any questions as you go forward with this, and how you use the system, if you have any issues with finding anything, the first thing that we suggest people to do is to go to mo.servicesnavigator.org and then look up your own record to see if you can find yourself in the system. Are there any suggestions that you would make as far as the entry in that system? Make what changes you have, then look up the areas that you do the most referrals to. And if you see them, then that's great. If you don't see them, they would be a great service to add. If there's anything that needs to be corrected, then that would also be a great opportunity for you to do that then too. So if you have any questions about how the system works, please talk to your administrator. They'll get those questions into our office so we can get you hooked up. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and we look forward to being able to help each other serve our customers better, because the changes that you make are not just to help you and not to make it easier for you to find it, but it's to make all the other partners be able to find those services too, so that not only do they refer them to you properly, but they also help our customers as much as we can. We're helping ourselves do a better job. Thanks very much.